Hey XRP Army, are you ready for liftoff? That's right, XRP has its sights set on the moon, and in today's video we're going to be breaking down why a major price rally is brewing right now. So get ready for explosive gains, adoption news, and all the bullish signals you need for an epic XRP ride. Let's get into it. The fight against Ripple and the SEC just got a lot more intense. Ripple landed a counterpunch, throwing out the SEC's expert testimony. Will this be enough to knock out the SEC's case for a huge penalty and sales ban? And will this send the XRP price soaring, or potentially even crashing? So what are we talking about? We're talking about the Fox Declaration. Andrea Fox, an SEC accountant, and the SEC attorneys have filed to basically include a summary of the Ripple accounts. Ripple have countered this by saying that it's actually an expert testimony, not a summarization of the Ripple accounts, and we are now waiting to hear back from the SEC regarding this. Are they going to try to push it even harder? Are they going to try to include it? So let's just take a look at the article here and pull out a few things of interest. So the SEC included testimony and exhibits from Andrea Fox, the Fox Declaration, in its March opening brief filing, arguing for a punitive penalty and an injunction. Ripple argued that Andrea Fox was an expert witness and the SEC failed to provide her identity and testimony during remedies related to discovery. And so basically the arguments are that actually the SEC are trying to kind of circumnavigate around a few things, and Ripple aren't having any of it. The SEC disputed the motion to dismiss that Ripple filed, stating that the Andrea Fox was a summary witness. Significantly, the SEC does not need to provide summary witness testimony during discovery because summary witnesses summarize existing evidence. In the reply brief, Ripple argued that Fox did not summarize Ripple's financial statements. Ripple also stated that if Fox was a summary witness, the SEC still needed to disclose her during discovery and have the opportunity to depose her. In the reply brief, Ripple pointed out that the SEC did not address the cases Ripple cited in its motion to strike. So things are getting very, very interesting. Now, with this news, with this development in the case, it can, of course, sway either way, and it is now going to be kind of on the court to kind of see how it lands. The court could rule on the motion to strike at any time. Nevertheless, the SEC must file its remedy-related reply brief by May 6th. The remedy-related reply brief will contest Ripple's opposition to the SEC's opening brief, arguing the punitive penalty and injunction. After May 6th filing, the court will decide on the penalty Ripple must pay for breaching U.S. securities law. Moreover, the court will also decide whether to prohibit Ripple from selling XRP to institutional investors. The court ruling could influence Ripple's expansion plans in the US. So it's pretty big news, right? There's a lot of things to kind of unpack in here, right? The SEC trying to kind of get around the discovery element. Are Ripple going to be successful in kind of getting this thrown out? And what does that actually mean for the price action of XRP? And it could be very, very interesting. So all eyes are going to be on what the SEC does next with this particular case, and also, after May 6th, what will the court decide? What will, if any, penalties be, put forward to Ripple, and are they going to stop Ripple from selling XRP to institutional level investors? So the question is, guys, do you think the court will side with Ripple or the SEC? If you think that Ripple are going to be successful, why don't you smash that like button and let's see how many likes we can get on this video showcasing the support for Ripple. The Ripple case to one side, the XRPL gets an upgrade, and we are talking about a pretty significant upgrade that could actually increase the amount of adoption that XRP sees. Let's jump into this article and take a look at what's going on. RippleX, the development arm of Ripple, has introduced significant enhancements to the XRP ledger, known as the XRPL. Aimed at enhancing adoption and usability, the senior software engineer at RippleX revealed the release of a new specification, the XLS-68D. designed to simplify transaction processes. The focal point of this development is the introduction of simplified and sponsored transaction fees and reserves. This feature enables platforms to handle transaction fees and account reserves on behalf of their users, thereby streamlining the user experience and reducing barriers to entry for new participants. Now, if this sounds familiar to you guys, it should. This is something that VeChain have been doing for quite some time. They call it the fee delegation, VIP 181, I believe. And this is great to see this kind of level of adoption also on the XRPL. Now, we know that the transaction fees on the XRP ledger are incredibly cheap. That makes it very, very easy and very affordable to move money around from place to place. Now, this is enhanced when we start talking about fee delegations, or as they call it here, sponsored transactions and reserves. This means that users don't actually have to worry about the transaction fee, and they don't have to worry about opening an XRP account with the reserves associated with it. This is actually a huge milestone for the XRP ledger, in my opinion, and will help aid in the adoption curve for cryptocurrency, and specifically the XRP ledger as well. I think this is a milestone set not just for XRP but for the crypto market. We want to see more of this. Obviously, as I mentioned, this is something that we've seen for the last few years on VeChain, and it's great to see the XRP ledger is also adopting such a strategy. And if more ledgers and more blockchains were to do the same, I think the adoption curve will be so much faster, but we'll also see the barrier to entry, as documented here in this article, being very, very frictionless. It will make it so much easier to bring new people into the space. So this is fantastic news for the XRP ledger. I think this is going to be something that a lot of people will look at from a developer standpoint, and be looking at how they can build out their applications and how they can kind of make a really seamless user experience. Now, there's a few use cases that jump to mind with this, such as the DeFi sector. We've seen already some fantastic news around stablecoins on the XRP ledger. That will usher in the world of decentralized finance. Add in decentralized finance, stablecoins, and fee delegations like this, we could potentially see a fantastic storm brewing here for the XRP price in relation to how much more adoption could occur if we start to see a lot more dApps being built on the XRPL around these functions, because this is really how you drive adoption, in my opinion. Real world use cases, real world assets, and I think decentralized finance is due a resurgence in the space. So watch this one, because I do think we're going to see some significant run to the upside on XRP's price on the back of some of these fantastic developments that have been occurring. You can let me know in the comments down below if you think this is going to be what it takes to see that next level of adoption for the XRP ledger. Okay, so from the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit all the way through to new features launching on the XRPL, what about the price action? Well, the price action has been, unfortunately, in line with the rest of the crypto market. It's been quite negative most recently. Now, we have seen a rejection from our 200-day exponential moving average. That is our white line going through here. Okay, currently sat at 56.8 cents. We can see the yellow line is our 50 simple moving average, currently sat at 57.08, and a death cross is looming here for XRP. Okay, so we know that this is a negative death cross. Okay, a cross where the lower 50 SMA crossing the lower than the higher 200 EMA. They call this a death cross because short-term price action drops down lower than longer-term price action, and it is deemed negative, not positive. Now, we have, of course, seen some slippage most recently with the price action of XRP. Okay, we have dropped down here 16.33% from the start here of the 22nd of April down to the 1st of May. Okay, so we saw a bit of slippage. This was after retesting and finding the 200 exponential moving average as our resistance. Now, we are, of course, still looking for a bit more to the downside. It doesn't look necessarily like we are completely finished or out of the woods when it comes to the negative price action, meaning that I'm expecting the rest of the crypto market to continue to be volatile for a few more weeks yet. And that is going to give us some huge opportunities for dollar cost averaging into the market. Now, it's obvious that we do have ourselves a bit of a bearish situation here for XRP, right? We can see that we do have lower highs and lower lows. Okay, this is something that we see, pretty consistently in here. You could argue this is a falling wedge as well. But again, these kind of patterns are, they're not the best. They kind of give you an idea as to kind of where things are going, but there's more advanced technical analysis that you can do on the market here to help you understand where things currently sit. So we do have obviously the lower highs and the lower lows. It's worth noting. And if we go ahead and throw on some smart money concepts, we can see that we are, of course, lower than the equilibrium as well. Okay, we have got a major change of characterization. It's actually really difficult to see, and I missed it in the last video that I put out, but you can see right here there's might be able to see here a change of characterization. This change of characterization is a major change. It indicates that we are now in a bearish structure from a smart money concepts point of view. Okay, so not only do we have the lower lows, the lower highs, we do have a change of characterization from a smart money concepts point of view, also indicating that things are not in the best position. Okay, and it's an indication that we probably have a bit more to the downside to go. We've bounced to the upside, and if we do come back down, like I suspect we will, we'll get a BOS flag up on our smart money concepts chart that will indicate a break of structure, confirming the bearish patterns that we find ourselves in. Now, that is kind of the bad news. The good news is, though, that I still see this as a short-term issue, not a long-term issue. And some of the technicals here can be reversed upon very quickly should there be some, I don't know, let's say SEC fantastic news coming out about, settlement or case being thrown out, whatever it may be, right? We might find that news breaks all of these structures. Okay, so it's really important that we kind of take an open opinion to this, right? Keep our minds nice and open and not just kind of closed down. So we do, of course, and as our previous video, still look at this particular area between 33.46 and 46.16. You know that this is quite a large area for XRP's price. And it is drawn with the idea of a 5-wave WXYXZ pattern, as indicated before. Now, if I do zoom out of this quite a bit, the positive news is that this could potentially be the end of the structured move to the downside. After we kind of predicted out the 93.8 high very accurately with the 3-wave pattern, I do see us with a 3-wave pattern to the downside here as well. You can see that we have this little bounce up and we're looking to move on down. Okay, so we could be hitting into the lower range between 33 and 28 cents. That's a possibility. And of course, what we're really referencing in here is the idea that we have the W, X, Y, X, and Z pattern like this to finish off that structure. So for XRP's price action, it actually isn't terrible. It's not the worst, but we do still have to appreciate that there is still some room to the downside to be had. That room to the downside is going to be your opportunity, because dollar cost averaging is done when the market bleeds out. And as I indicated in a video that I put out yesterday, which I'll try to link up into a card just over here, one of these sides, it's an interesting kind of concept, because what it does is it shows you that when the market is incredibly fearful, is your opportunity to be incredibly greedy yourself. You can be an absolute savage and accumulate as much as you possibly can through people who believe that selling their bags are the right decision. Now, this is a sum-zero game. There's winners and there's losers. There really isn't anything in the middle. So you want to be the winner, and you want to be taking advantage of the opportunities as they present themselves. Now, I am no financial advisor. I cannot give you financial advice. All I can do is share my thoughts and opinions on the data and the charts as I personally see it. And I see the next pullback for XRP being a fantastic opportunity, an opportunity not to kind of be missed, in my humble opinion. This is an opportunity that I once saw as well down on this little wick of this A wave. This was an opportunity that I took way over here by putting in a buy order at 30 cents, and it hit all the way before we rallied up to 93 cents. These are the kind of opportunities to be buying up people's fear when they believe the prices are going lower, and we can see technically there's not a good justification for continuing to go down deeper and deeper and deeper. And instead we start to see that there's a bottom to be had here, and it's an area where we can start to accumulate and take advantage of the next big major move for the price action of XRP to the upside. So there you have it. If you're new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, and you will be kept up to date with all of the XRP content that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't hit the like button, what are you waiting for? Hit the like button and show your support for Ripple. And if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out this video right here, where I'm talking about some altcoins that have some fantastic potential for significant gains.